Okay, let's explain the difference in how salvage value, which is also called residual value, gets handled if the method chosen was the double declining balance versus the straight line method. First, we'll look at the straight line method. Okay, so the depreciation calculation would be the asset's cost minus its salvage value, and we would divide that evenly over its useful life. And the salvage value is subtracted from the asset's cost at the beginning. The remaining amount is depreciated evenly. So in this example, we've got a $10,000 cost, salvage value of $2,000, and a useful life of 5 years. So we take the $10,000 less the $2,000 divided by 5. We come up with $1,600 as the depreciation amount every year. The depreciation amount would not change. Next, let's take a look at the double declining balance method. Now, with the double declining balance method, or any declining balance method, what we see is that depreciation is higher in the early years. We accelerate the depreciation in the early years, and it decreases over time. Now, the salvage value is not directly subtracted from the asset's cost at the beginning, but we have to wait and keep track to make sure we don't over depreciate. Remember, in this example, we can only take $8,000 of depreciation in total. That's the $10,000 minus $2,000, $8,000 divided by 5 with $1,600 straight line. $1,600 times 5 is the $8,000. So the most we can depreciate is the cost less the salvage value. So using declining balance, in this case, we've got a 5-year life, right? So if we're using double declining balance, we take 2 over 5 instead of 1 over 5. 1 over 5 would be the straight line method, right, which is 20%. Taking 2 over 5 gets us 40%. So we take the cost less 40%. That's our first year's depreciation. Then we take the cost less what we've already depreciated in a prior year times 40%. And the next year's depreciation decreases. It's only $2,400. We keep going. Take the cost less what we depreciated the first year and less what we depreciated the second year times 40%. And we keep going. But remember that if you get to a point where you've depreciated more than what's required, more than $8,000, right? So $2,400 plus $1,440 plus $864, we're not there yet. That doesn't equal $8,000. We have to stop at $8,000. So we can't use this formula in the final year, right? And year 5 tells you that. Depreciation continues the same way, but once we see that the cumulative depreciation, which is called accumulated depreciation, once we get to the point that all $8,000 was reached, we cannot depreciate the asset any further.